Dorian from Yazoo City, Mississippi, a tornado hotbed. Yazoo City, Mississippi. There is an age-old adage in the storm chasing community in Dixie Alley, when in doubt, head towards Yazoo City, Mississippi. And you would not say that in any other walk of life. All due respect to Yazoo City. But I'm just telling you, when it's spring and it's storm chasing season, catch me in Yazoo City. Anyway, Dorian said, you said on a show a while back that a bunch of preseason top 25 teams finished unranked. Out of those teams, who are your most disappointing teams this season? It's a depressing question. I'd be happy to answer it. Clemson was terrible. Clemson was the number 4 team in the country in the preseason. They finished 7-5. You remember, or if you don't, let me jog your memory. Let me refreshify your memory. Go back in time. Go back in time to the summer. What are we saying? We're saying, hey, Clemson's got the best shot they've had in a long time. Remember, they've replenished the wide receiver room. I'm guilty of this. In many ways, I'm just repeating myself. They've replenished the wide receiver room. They got as good an athletic profile in that receiver room as they've had in a long time. What else do they have? Cade Klubnik, third-year returning starter. Garrett Riley, third-year returning play caller. They've got NFL capability on all 3 levels of the defense. Run game probably won't be electric, but it'll be good enough. It'll be serviceable enough. Offensive line looks better than it's been in a few years. And not everyone agreed with this, but I had the opinion that this was sort of maybe a last dance situation, because I viewed 2026 and beyond as the edge of a cliff. From a roster certainty standpoint, I didn't have a lot of confidence. So I looked at this year, this 2025 year, as the year they had to get it done. And not only did they not get it done, they imploded. They lost to LSU, and they squeaked by Troy, then lost to Georgia Tech, then lost to Syracuse. When they lost to Syracuse, that one was done. I mean, that was Steve Angeli's Syracuse. That was before the quarterback got injured and ended the season. Syracuse housed them at home. And so they started the season 1-3, and it was just a bad, bad time. So that had to be my most disappointing team, but not my only disappointing team, because the Florida Gators do exist, after all. Now, credit the AP. They only had him number 15. I regret to inform you, I had him a little bit higher than that. To my credit, well, no, there's no credit to be had here. I'm not going to do that. To my defense, no, there's no defending. I don't know. In my honor, in my very, very feeble attempt to explain this away, there we go, whatever the acronym is. I think that if they were just being judged on their team, independent of their schedule, I think the AP would have voted them higher. I had them higher because I don't think you should predict with your preseason ranking, because that just means the teams with the easier schedules are going to be ranked higher and the teams with the toughest schedules are going to be ranked lower. Anyway, it didn't matter because they finished 4-8. This one hurts. This one hurts me bad. The worst part is if you look at the schedule on your screen right now, notice there's the loss to USF, and that started the downfall. Then they went to LSU, and they were, I think, 5 interceptions that night, minus 4 turnovers. Then they got smashed by Miami. And then what happened, everyone? They just randomly mixed in a win against Texas, which reminded me, everything I thought Florida was capable of in the preseason, they were always capable of. It just so happens they were only going to give it to you in small sample sizes. It was like my mom taking me to Sam's Club on a Saturday morning. They're not going to feed you breakfast, but they will give you the little sample platters. Now, I used to think that that was breakfast. Unbeknownst to me, they were trying to convince you to buy stuff. Florida convinced me to buy them. I got a little taste of Florida at the end of last year, and they convinced me to buy them, and I didn't check the expiration date. I don't know what else to say. Very, very poor shopping on my part, and they end up 4-8. And the worst part is DJ Lagway just never even remotely came close to what I thought he was. One of the things that will live in infamy was me doing my SEC quarterback preseason power ratings, which we may never do again because I had Lagway number 1. And he finished, I can't believe that's real, he finished with a 16-14 touchdown to INT ratio. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Let's move on. Hey, quick time out here. Are you subscribed to the channel? It doesn't cost anything. It's free. Please do it. It helps us maintain the show at this level. That's it. That's all I got. Back to the clip. Penn State Shame on you, Jesse. Penn State was a preseason number 2. This one was well documented. But let's revisit it once more, shall we? They went 6-6. Now, it was a tale of like 3 seasons for Penn State, because you had the start, which was like misleading. So they entered the season number 2. They played Nevada, FIU, and Villanova to begin the year. Didn't look particularly great in any of those games, but everyone sort of had in the back of their mind, we didn't have to show anything. We were really vanilla. You know, Andy Koldenicki, man, he's been cooking up with Drew Aller and these transfer portal receivers all spring and all summer. You think we're going to show our offensive hand against FIU? More like FI who? Ha, 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 ha. Here comes Oregon. Oh, man, we're down 17-3. Oh, man, we're having to fight back. Oh, snap, we're taking them to overtime. And we lost and we're dead. That was season number 1. And then season number 2 was, let's go and let's bounce back on the West Coast against UCLA. Wait a second, we just lost this again. Oh, it's crisis time. We're going home. Boy, if Northwestern gets out to a lead against us, it's going to be really toxic. Northwestern has the lead. Northwestern just won. James Franklin is fired. That was season 2. And then Terry Smith is named the interim head coach, and they fought Iowa valiantly on the road, and they lost. They hung with Ohio State for a little while, and they lost. And then they come home and give Indiana the biggest fight Indiana's had all year, including, I would argue, the game they just played against Ohio State. And they were in the process of becoming one of the hottest teams in the country. And we knew, because we were dumping money on them. The model never dropped them out of the top 20. I had to manually override the model, and then the model won. And so that was season 3. And it was long. I don't know how many games it felt like to you. Those were 12 games that felt like 3 seasons worth of games. But yeah, that was disappointing, because Penn State was one of the safest commodities. Look at the schedule. Keep the schedule up, Bradley. So remember, in preseason terms, there was so little question about the team. Think about what they were last year. They were in the semifinal. They were 1 play or so away, going the other way, of being in the national championship game. And most of those pieces return, and you got a 2-headed 1,000-yard per tailback caliber backfield, quarterback's back again. We've got really good transfer portal talent infusion at wide receiver, which was one of the last remaining hurdles for this team. And then defense, we just casually went and added Jim Knowles. All the signs were there, to the point where everyone said, I don't know how Penn State doesn't make the playoff. Like, remember, once upon a time, the worst case for Penn State was they lose the Oregon game and the Ohio State game. They're 10-2. That was worst case. Finished just a few games short of worst case. So give me Clemson and Florida and Penn State. This is my most disappointing teams.